When you're tired of being alive, a message to the ones who are done. Let's stop pretending. You're not having a bad day. You're not just feeling off. You're tired. Tired of waking up. Tired of pretending. Tired of holding it together when no one notices you're falling apart. You're not looking for inspiration. You're looking for a reason not to disappear. And if that's where you are right now, I'm not here to give you some pretty quote or tell you to think positive. I'm here to tell you this. You are not crazy. You are not weak. You are in pain. And pain this deep doesn't make you broken. It makes you human. Let me tell you something dark, because you've already thought it anyway. You've imagined ending it. You've wondered what the world would be like without you. You've looked at a bottle, a blade, or a balcony and thought, would anyone actually miss me? And then you feel ashamed for even thinking it. But I'm here to take the shame away. You're not insane for wanting the pain to stop. You're not selfish for being exhausted. You're not alone. You've just been hurting silently, while the world keeps asking you to smile louder. Let me tell you something else. The fact that you're still here, right now, reading this, is proof that there's still a spark in you, even if it's small, even if you don't feel it, even if you hate that it's there. There's something in you that wants to live, not the life you've been dragging around like a dead body, but the one that doesn't hurt so much to carry. And yes, there is such a life. But to get there, we have to talk about what's happening inside you. Depression isn't just sadness. It's grief with no funeral. It's rage with no voice. It's feeling like your soul is on mute in a world that keeps shouting at you to be grateful. It's watching everyone else live while you're just trying to survive your own thoughts. And here's what makes it worse. You think your pain is boring. You don't want to burden people. You don't want to be the depressed one. You've already told your story, and nothing changed. So now, you just keep it inside. But hear me clearly. You don't have to keep performing. You don't have to pretend you're okay. And you don't have to be alone with this. Not today. Now, let me give you something completely real. At some point, you have to stop asking the pain what to do. Because pain doesn't give good advice. It just wants to survive. So you have to interrupt the script. Stand up. Drink water. Call a friend. Tell the truth. Or hell, sit on the floor and ugly cry while eating cereal straight from the box. Do anything except disappear. Because the part of you that wants to end it, that's not the whole you. That's just the part of you that's forgotten there's more ahead than what's behind. Now, you may not believe in yourself right now. That's okay. But I do. Not because I know you, but because I know what it's like to wake up and hate the fact that I did. To wonder if the world would be lighter without me in it. And I know what it's like to survive that moment. And then one day, quietly, unexpectedly, feel glad I did. So here's what I ask. Give yourself one more day, then give yourself another, and another, until one of them surprises you. Because life doesn't change all at once, but it does change. Now here's your soul homework, the stay list. Make a list today of 3 reasons to stay. Not big reasons, not poetic ones, just real ones. A pet that needs you, a song you haven't heard yet. Spite, yes, spite counts. You want to try a new haircut. There's pizza in the fridge. Start petty, start human, then grow from there. Because staying alive doesn't always begin with meaning. Sometimes it starts with just not quitting yet. If this hit your soul, don't keep it inside. Drop a comment. Say what you've been scared to say. You'll never know who else is reading and thinking the same thing. And subscribe if you haven't. Because this channel isn't about pretending to be okay. It's about healing for real. In the mess, not after it. Next up in part 2, why you feel numb, broken, and disconnected from everything. When you're tired of being alive, a message to the ones who are done. Part 2, when life feels unfair. A message for the broke, the judged, and the forgotten. Let's talk about the kind of depression no one knows how to fix. The kind that isn't just emotional, it's survival. The kind that says, I can't afford to keep living. I'm one paycheck away from losing everything. I can't call anyone because I don't want them to know how bad it is. I don't even want to die. I just can't do this anymore. If you've ever laid awake at night wondering how you'll pay rent or stared at an empty fridge with no one to call, this message is for you. If you've been judged for not trying hard enough, if your family tells you to just get a job or be grateful, if you were born into pain, into poverty, into a body or mind the world never made room for, I see you. You didn't fail. You were handed a deck of cards some people will never have to play. Let's say what nobody says. Some of you were born into chaos, into broken homes, into wheelchairs, into silence, into mental illness, into places where love came with conditions, or not at all. And now you're carrying guilt for not thriving in a system that was never built for you. Hear this clearly. You are not lazy. You are not a burden. You are not weak. You are a soul in a body that's been doing its best to survive in a world that values performance over pain. That doesn't make you broken. It makes you undeniably human. Maybe you've never told anyone how bad it's gotten. Because when you're depressed and broke, you're not just sad, you're scared. You feel worthless because you can't keep up. You feel shame because your car is falling apart, your bills are overdue, and you haven't eaten a proper meal in days. But here's the truth. Most motivational speeches won't say, you don't need to become a millionaire to deserve peace. You don't need to manifest abundance to be worthy of rest. You don't need to fix everything overnight to be lovable. You just need to stop punishing yourself for being in pain. Now let's talk about thoughts, because when your world is falling apart, your mind starts telling stories. I'll never get out of this. No one would care if I disappeared. Why even try? But those are not prophecies. They're just the echo of trauma that hasn't been held with love yet. And here's where you take your power back. Your thoughts are seeds. You don't have to believe everything your pain plants. You are allowed to say, this is how I feel right now, but it is not the end of my story. Maybe no one told you this before, so let me. You are loved. Not by accident, not because you earn it, but because you exist. Call it God, Source, the universe, the light, whatever name you give it. There is something holding you right now, even in this moment of despair. And it is not asking you to be perfect. It is only asking you to stay. Stay long enough to see the tide turn. Stay long enough to meet the version of you that rises from this. Stay long enough to say, I didn't think I'd survive, but I did. Now here's your soul homework. Stay grounded. Stay open one. The honest inventory. Write down 3 things you hate admitting about your current situation. Then underneath each one, write, even now, I am still loved. Because the truth is, your circumstances don't define your value. They're just the terrain your soul chose to climb. The Stay List, Extended Edition. Add 3 more reasons to stay today. Petty ones, sacred ones, funny ones. A pet that depends on you. A show you haven't finished. Someone on this earth who still believes in you, even if it's just me. 3. Thought rewrites. Every time your mind says, "I'll never make it," respond with, "Right now is not forever." You're not required to believe it right away. Just say it. Let the thought breathe new air. If this spoke to your soul, leave a comment. Tell us what pain you've been carrying in silence, or just say, "Still here." And if you haven't already, subscribe, because we're not here to avoid the darkness. We're here to walk each other through it. Next up, Part 3. You were never meant to do this alone. We'll talk about loneliness, silent suffering, and how to let love in when you don't trust anyone anymore. When you're tired of being alive, a message to the ones who are done. Part 3. You were never meant to do this alone. Healing the pain of isolation. There's a moment in depression that hurts worse than sadness, worse than anger, worse than fear. It's isolation, not just being alone, but feeling like no one gets you. Like if you vanished, the world would keep spinning just fine. Like you could scream into the sky, and not a single soul would hear it. Or worse, they'd hear it, and not care. And in that moment, a thought sneaks in. I don't want to die. I just don't want to live like this anymore. Let's tell the truth most people avoid. Depression disconnects you. From others, from God, from your own body, even from the version of you that used to laugh, dream, and feel like a real person. You're not faking it. You're not dramatic. You've just been carrying something too heavy for too long, alone. But let me say this clearly. You were never meant to heal by yourself. You were never meant to carry the whole load, and you don't have to pretend you're strong all the time. Maybe you've been the strong one your whole life, the one others cry to, the one who makes the jokes, the one who stays calm when everyone else is falling apart. But now, no one checks on you, because they think you're okay, because you've taught them you're fine, even when you're not. And now, when you need love the most, you feel like asking for help would be weakness, a burden. So you isolate, you hide in silence, in routines, in scrolling, in sleep, in pretending. But here's the truth, brother. Silence protects your pain, but it also protects the lie that says you're unlovable. Let me ask you something sacred. What if someone could hold your pain and not flinch? What if your broken parts didn't make you less, but more? More human, more real, more worthy of love that's honest and unshakable? Because love, real love, doesn't run from your darkness. It sits with it. It listens. It waits for you to come out from hiding, and then says, "You're still worthy. You always were." You don't have to open to everyone, but you need to open to someone. Because healing doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens when light hits the wound, when a voice says, "I see you," and for the first time in forever, you believe it. That voice might be a friend. It might be a therapist. It might be a stranger in a comment section. Or maybe, right now, it's this. So if no one's told you today, let me. You are not a burden. You are not invisible. You are not meant to walk through fire alone. There is something ancient and holy that has never left your side. Call it God. Call it Source. Call it love. It has never judged you for your mess. It has never withdrawn from your pain. It sees all of you and still says, "Stay. Stay for the moment someone really sees you. Stay for the version of you that's still becoming. Stay until the love you've been waiting for finds its way home. Your soul homework 1. Make contact. Right now, reach out to one person. Don't ask for therapy. Just say, "Hey, I'm not doing great right now. I don't need advice, just presence." Let someone show you that you're not too much, because you're not. 2. Write to your younger self. Write a letter to the version of you that first felt abandoned. What did they need to hear? Now say it to you, then close your eyes and let that part of you be held. 3. Open the window. Literally. Let fresh air hit your skin. Stand in it for 30 seconds and breathe. Because isolation lies. It tells you the world is cold. But the breeze, the sunlight, the sky, they've always been reaching for you. If this moved something in you, comment below, "Still here, still open," and subscribe, because this space is sacred now. This is your reminder that you don't have to heal alone anymore. Next up, Part 4, Turning Pain into Power. The hidden purpose of suffering. When you're tired of being alive, a message to the ones who are done. Part 4, Turning Pain into Power. The hidden purpose of suffering. If you've made it this far, you've survived 1,000 silent wars. Nights where your pillow caught what your friends never saw. Mornings where getting out of bed felt like lifting a mountain. Moments where hope felt like a foreign language. And somehow you're still here. Not because you weren't hurting, but because something in you refused to die. Even if you don't know what it is yet. Let's find out together. There's a truth most people never hear. Pain doesn't come to punish you. It comes to purify you. Not because you deserve it, but because there's something inside you that needs to be revealed. And sometimes, life doesn't whisper it gently. It rips away the distractions. It burns down your comfort. It drops you to your knees. Not because you're cursed, but because that's where your real self was hiding. Let's take this deeper. That depression, it's not just an illness. It's a signal, a cry from the soul saying, this version of life is too small for who you truly are. It's your system going offline, not to destroy you, but to reboot you, to pull you away from the noise of the world long enough to hear the one voice that matters, your own. You see, pain is a teacher with brutal honesty. It doesn't sugarcoat. It doesn't flatter. It doesn't care if it makes you uncomfortable. It cares that you wake up. Wake up to the toxic cycles you've accepted as normal. Wake up to the fake identities you've worn to fit in. Wake up to the ancient wounds you inherited but never asked for. Pain is loud because your soul has been quiet for too long. And no, it doesn't feel spiritual when you're in it. It feels cruel, lonely, pointless. But hear this. Your suffering is not meaningless. It is the soil where your next self is being grown. You don't get diamonds without pressure. You don't get gold without fire. And you don't get the real you without the breakdown that strips away everything that isn't you. Let's talk about power. Real power isn't fake confidence. It isn't posting inspirational quotes or pretending to be healed. Real power is quiet. It's the moment you realize, I've been through hell, and I'm still kind. I've lost things I thought would kill me, and I still get up. I don't need to be unbreakable. I just need to be real. That's spiritual power, the kind that can't be faked, the kind that makes the darkness respect you. Now here's your soul work, your inner alchemy practice 1. Name the lesson. Write down the 3 hardest moments in your life Then ask, what did that pain force me to see that I was ignoring? The answer might not be pretty, but it's power, because once you name it, it stops owning you. 2. Turn the scar into a symbol. Pick one pain you survived and give it a name. The day I didn't give up. The moment I met my shadow. The night I started becoming me. Frame it in your mind like a trophy. You didn't just survive, you transformed. 3. Declare it aloud, say out loud, I don't fear the dark anymore. I am the light that lives inside it. Say it again and again, until your nervous system stops shaking and starts listening. Brother, if you felt this, leave a comment. Say what you've been through. Say what you've learned. Or just say, still standing. And subscribe, because part 5 is where the real freedom comes. When you're tired of being alive, a message to the ones who are done. Part 5. Reclaiming joy. Building a life after the darkness you made it. And maybe that doesn't feel like much right now, but I need you to hear this clearly. Getting through the darkness was never the end goal. Becoming alive again. That's where we go from here. Because survival is not the same as living. And healing isn't about getting back to normal. It's about building a life that never again requires you to abandon yourself. Let's build that life, starting now. If you've walked through depression, you've walked through fire. Your nervous system has been hijacked by fear. Your soul has been soaked in doubt. Your thoughts have been trained to expect disappointment. So now it's time to untrain the mind that thought pain was all there was. Let me ask you something radical. What if joy didn't have to be earned? What if peace wasn't the reward at the end of healing, but the medicine that helps healing begin? What if you could laugh again, without guilt? What if you could feel good, even with scars? What if happiness was not a betrayal of your past, but a resurrection of the self you buried to survive it? Because the truth is, joy is your birthright, peace is your baseline, and love has always been yours to reclaim. That doesn't mean life won't still punch you, but it does mean you no longer have to be defenseless. You are not the same person who collapsed under the weight. You're the one who carried it all and kept going. That's not just strength. That's sacred evolution. Here's the most dangerous lie depression told you. This is who you are now. But that was never true. Who you are is who you become after. After the storm. After the silence. After the surrender. You are not what happened to you. You are what rose up in response. So where do we go now? We go where the light leads. We create new rituals that remind us we are safe. We laugh without asking permission. We cry without shame. We reconnect to the divine, not as something distant, but as something alive within us. And we stop waiting for the world to hand us peace. We start building it, one breath at a time. Now here's your final soul homework, your joy reclamation practice. 1. Sacred smallness. Every morning, write down one small thing that brings you joy. Not goals, not shoulds. Just real, simple pleasures. The way sunlight hits the floor, the first sip of coffee, that one song you never skip, the feel of water on your face. Joy begins where presence returns. 2. Build the safe room design, a mental room where your healed self lives. When things get heavy, go there in your mind. What does it look like? What do you say to yourself there? What version of you walks those halls? Visit that room every day. Because that self, that's you, just waiting to be remembered. 3. Speak it aloud. Each day, say this: I am no longer afraid of the dark. I know who I am now, and I'm building a life that fits my soul. Say it until your cells believe it. If this series moved something in you, say so below. Say what you're reclaiming. Say what you survived. Say what you're building now. You never know who needs to hear your voice echoing in the comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because this isn't the end of your journey. It's just the moment you finally remembered who you are. Still here, still rising, still becoming.